And it's because in 2018, today, survival games are not making it. Dead Matter, please do not fall down the same path that these other games have. Okay, guys, so I told you guys I was going to make this video, and I wanted to make it a while back. I tried putting the whole thing together. It took forever, and I wanted to have gameplay and all kinds of other stuff showing you guys the different games, but that's just taking so much time to do, and what I want to say is more important than, you know, the stuff that frilly extra crap that was going to go in the video. So I want to start with some things, you know, about survival games, and you know, see if I can kind of, I don't know, help the community as a whole. So when I say I want to help the community as a whole, why am I saying I want to help the community as a whole? And better question, why does the community need my help as a whole? I think survival games right now are kind of flawed, and you know, before everyone starts getting you know, getting kind of crazy, because I know everybody loves, like, they're so attached to their one game. You know, Dayz has this following that it's like, it's almost like a cult, you know. Nobody wants to talk bad about Dayz. Scum is brand new, and people are just kind of already like, oh no, Scum is crushing Dayz. Scum is just destroying, you know, survival genres. To those same people, you know, just let me explain before you get your arms all up and ready to fight me. So going down that list, there was Scum, there was Miscreated, there was Dayz, H1Z1. All of those games are survival games. Most of those games were actually pretty good survival games. H1Z1 didn't fare quite as well, which it actually became a better game when it became a battle royale. That's a different topic, though. So for the most part, those games were not bad survival games. I could have put Rust in there. I could have put some of the other ones out there. I don't know if you necessarily put Conan into the survival. It's more of a builder game, but it is technically like a survival-esque buildery MMO RPG, whatever the hell they were trying to make out of it. So I didn't put a lot of those. I didn't put 7 Days to Die in there or anything like that. I just put the main ones that I personally focused on. But so those games, as I said, we can agree that those games were pretty good games. I mean, for the most part, everyone kind of likes them. Scum, you know, has that new base, that new following. People are like, oh my god, Scum is amazing. You know, and then Dayz obviously still has the people that are like, no, Dayz is gonna be something good. Miscreated, I don't really know what's going on with Miscreated's following. Miscreated is a phenomenal game, but they just need to give more. There's not... I feel like it's too small. I feel like they need to make some tweaks, but that's just me personally. So we can agree, we all like those games. So now what else can we agree on about those games that most of us would say, yeah, that does kind of suck? First thing, KOS. KOS in these games, I feel, is a problem, because, you know, if everyone KOS's, then no one is actually trying to survive. They're simply playing a first-person shooter. They're not playing a game that is designed on any kind of survival experience. They're playing a first-person shooter experience like Call of Duty, or better yet, like the new genre that has recently kind of stormed the game community, battle royales. So now that goes into why does everyone KOS right now? Everyone is KOSing, I think, because one, if you're live streaming this, you got to have something fun going on, or nobody wants to watch. Because if, you know, you're just running through the woods, then what fun is it for them to watch? So, you know, if you're not a streamer who's communicating to your chat, you're not, you know, really having a good time with your chat, you're probably trying to get action wherever you can, so that your chat is kind of hanging on, like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? And then, you know, also, people are KOSing, I think, more often because of battle royale genre. It's not wrong. It's people have started playing this way because they played PUBG, or they played Fortnite, or they've played Fear the Wolves or any of these Call of Duty Battle Royale, any of these Battle Royale games, and it's pushed them more towards, you know, getting out there and just trying to get more gear. But it's a Battle Royale that doesn't go anywhere. You're just killing people to kill people, and it's not the genre for that. So I think that's another thing that's creating that KOS environment. Another piece of KOS environment is created, honestly, by development. Development doesn't incentivize being a good guy. There is no plus to being a good guy right now in games like DayZ. In DayZ, if you run up and let's say that you go in and you find somebody, you're like, hey man, how's it going? He doesn't have a gun yet. You're nice to him, you give him, you know, some extra rags, you find some ammo, you're like, hey, you know what, I don't need 380, here's some 380. You know, you help this guy, you're nice to him. In most cases, that guy, when he finds a gun, a 380, instead of talking to you next time he runs into you, he may not remember what you look like, that's fine. You gave him an experience that was not negative. I guarantee you, he had 380 and a gun to use that 380. Next time he sees you, he's probably not going to ask you a question. He's probably going to shoot you on sight, because that is the environment that has been created, because there's no benefit to him for being a good guy like you just were. He is going to get the benefit when he sneaks up behind you and shoots you in the back and takes your stuff. So I think that the developers really need to incentivize different play roles. Right now, you know, if you want to succeed, which there is no succeeding in DayZ, it's just stay alive. If you want to succeed in DayZ, you kill people before they have the chance to kill you. That's it. That's the goal. That is the game summarized into, you know, a little tiny ball. Collect gear, keep your guy alive. Here's our little ball. Keep our guy alive. Kill other players so that they don't kill you, which is keeping our guy alive. You could literally play DayZ running through the woods, getting mushrooms, and drinking from water holes, carrying around an AK, never talking to anybody, shooting everyone from a distance, and that is how you win. And that is so sad, because there could be so much more dynamic to these games. So that's where I say developers need to incentivize other play roles. They need to have some reason to be a good guy, you know, some reason to have that genuine encounter where you look and say, you know what, I'm not going to kill this guy because it may affect me this way. So then that pushes me to another thing that I just said a second ago, was having some kind of goal. There is no, like I said, if you play DayZ like a battle royale now, which you can, it's like a giant battle royale that nobody wins, and there is no end goal. I think there has to be an end goal. I know everyone's like, oh, but it's a sandbox. It's supposed to be just open and do whatever you want. It can still be that. It can still be that with an end goal. It doesn't mean the game ends when you get there. Look at Escape from Tarkov. The game, the actual gameplay, happens in a controlled environment. You go in, you play, you fight the scavs, you fight players, you get gear, you come back, you've got your stash, you can do missions. That's kind of, I don't think there's ever going to be an end to Tarkov, but it has direction. It has, all of the same elements to it. It's open-esque world. It's not fully open like DayZ, but it's absolutely controlled, free will kind of based. In Tarkov, I'm sure if there was ever a server out there, if it ever had like private servers, there could be a server where people load in and they talk to each other. You don't have to mow somebody down when you see them. But Tarkov is a totally different style of game, in the sense that, your goal is to get in, get gear, extract. So now imagine DayZ with that end goal. Imagine DayZ, or imagine Scum, or any of these other games with an extraction point. Not that the game ends, but it's a safe haven. You've gone out, you've collected gear, and you're like, you know what? I want to get out of here. I want to be safe. I want to put this stuff into some kind of locker or storage or something. You go in, you find, and you could even make this thing move. You could have it be different towns at different times so that people have to make journeys. They can't camp it. They don't know where it's at until they find it or get to it, or however you wanted to control it. But when you get there, it's like, hey, you know, you survived, and then you can change your gear out, and you can either choose to go back to the coast, or you can choose to be set in a different town with gear. You know, and something interesting like that. Give the game more. You know, and then not just on the whole giving it a goal. Right now, players, if you watch any live stream, I guarantee you, most live streamers are on the coastline. And I'm using live streamers as an example because live streamers are the ones who you get to see how people are playing. You know, and when you're actually the player and you interact with these other players in there, you obviously get to see how players are playing. But everyone's on the coast. We have gone so far. We've gone all the way to the west-hand side of the map, gone all the way up. We hit Zelenogorsk, we hit the military that's kind of northwest from that, we hit the castle, we hit the checkpoint up top, we hit that whole side. Nobody. We saw no one. There was no one at any of those military posts. I even came from Belota before that. Nobody, because nobody makes it that far. Everybody stays on the coast, battle royaling it up. You know, it might even be beneficial for DayZ to take something like Berezino or maybe that little strip of the eastern coast and turn it into a battle royale. They'll probably make more money. But so give us more. Make some kind of zone where players can't just stay there. You know, take an example from battle royales. You have a circle. It closes into one point. Don't do that. Look at Fear the Wolves. Fear the Wolves has a zone that closes in blocks. It's patchy. So instead of making it close in, just make it block areas off. So have some kind of radiation. Have some kind of zombie horde that you just can't outlive unless you're hiding in a building the whole time. Do something to where players can't just camp the Northwest Airfield. Players can't just sit in a town and, you know, just kind of do nothing or sit on top of the PD. You know, give it some dynamic to where players have to move. They have to go. They have to explore this beautiful map that's been created, this giant play zone. DayZ's map, we were talking about this in a live stream the other day. DayZ's map is so detailed and so it's like a fantastic little creation, and it was like methodical in design almost, because you have these trails. People don't even pay attention to these trails. I've almost every live stream I take trails just because I want to see what the development is doing with it, and it's so cool. There's so many cool little things. We were joking about Frank sitting there looking at like a rock or a piece of wood or something, like, or a pine cone, I think it was, you know, and it's awesome because there's more to DayZ than sitting on the coast. So, and I know I'm harping a lot on DayZ, but that's what I play the most right now. These games need to do that. Give some end goal that's not necessarily an ending, just a goal, you know. Give some kind of like zoning to keep people from just sitting in one place, you know. And I get maybe people want to play that way, but I just don't understand why. Why would you just want to sit in Berezino? It's a starting town. You don't get anything good there. You don't get anything fun there. What are you gonna find, a Mosin? You're gonna find a Mosin, maybe an AK if you're lucky. You know, I mean, go explore this giant map, you know. And to branch off of the whole zoning thing, like the hordes, DayZ really needs some kind of like alpha predator. Yeah, and you don't really have that in the game. You have zombies, you have wolves, which wolves go down just as easy as a zombie. Yeah, you gotta fire off your gun and stuff like that, and I'm sure they're gonna add bears or something. We need some kind of alpha predator, something that hunts you if you're in its territory. You know, how amazing would it be to look up as you're running to Devil's Castle and you've got your gun raised and you look up and you see at the top of the castle some, you know, tyrant looking thing that looks like it came from Resident Evil, juiced up on the G virus, and it just jumps down from the side of that, and you know, I need to get the hell out of here because that thing is gonna maul me. That would be amazing. That would be so like heart pounding. You would be with your group ready to shit your pants when you saw this thing drop from the top of Devil's Castle and just start running straight for you through the woods. And if it was, and Miscreated does that. Miscreated has that. They have big scary guys that will just destroy you. DayZ needs that. Scum, I don't even know if you guys have it. I haven't played enough of you, but if you don't have it other than the mechs, you need to get it. Every survival game should have the basic annoyance: zombies, wolves, the predators, the players, the NPCs. Because in a non-KOS server, in a RP server, or those the Bambi servers, those people are just going around looting. And they're probably just picking up gear and sitting around a campfire. Give those people something to fear. And then, I want to talk about the whole incentivizing thing. Incentivizing players to play as good guys is something that I think development really, really needs. When you look at being a good guy and a bad guy, like I mentioned before, the bad guy pretty much always wins. Even if he loses, he wins, because he's just going to get more gear and do it again. The good guy, it's a very, very big struggle, and it doesn't even pay off. I know we had humanity a long time ago, and you could tell who was a bandit and that kind of stuff. That's cool. But there are more mechanics nowadays. They could absolutely do something cool. We could have AI that kind of roam the map. The AI are neutral, make them neutral so that when they see a player, if the player is neutral, they raise their gun and the character says, you need to leave. If you come any closer, I'm going to shoot. Something like that. Something where the NPC gives them a chance to leave. That way it's not just AI like in Arma shooting people down for no reason. So, do something like that. And then if you're a bad guy and you run up on those AI because you don't see them, instead of talking, they're going to say, hey, bandits, stop. Boom, 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 boom. And they just start firing at you. And then you're stuck in this firefight, which you obviously wanted to begin with, because that's all you do is play that way. And then good guys, when they run up, they're like, hey, survivor, like just straight up, hey. They don't care that you're not hurting them, they're not hurting you. They know you're a good guy. Make it a little more dynamic than just like bad guys always win. And then maybe have, a town that you can go to for supplies. And if you're a shithead, if you're a bad guy that all you do is KOS, you don't have access to it. On the same respect, make a bad guy town where they do have access to it, but give separation. Give some kind of more dynamic. I get that it's a sandbox, but give us some shovels, give us some buckets and a little extra sand so we can build something. I really think that those development things would help a lot. I think that would really add a new dynamic to the games. Now, after all of this rambling, a lot of people are probably thinking, what is the point? Why are you rambling? We know that, KOS happens, and some KOS players don't care. Some KOS just, they think it's okay, it's whatever, that's just the game. Some of the non-KOS players think it's a problem. Those kind of things. And then, like little issues like having a tyrant and stuff like that. Why do I feel the need to mention it? And it's because in 2018 today, survival games are not making it. And I know that people are going to say you're wrong. Survival games are just fine. They're not. People are still playing them. They're okay. But are they really? I mean, Scum was released, and last time I looked, it's already dropped down to under 1,000 people watching in sometimes, to where it's between just below 1,000 to maybe 2,000 to 3,000 at the most. That's a brand new game, and it's already hit that low on something like Twitch's viewer list. That's a quick indicator that people aren't interested. People aren't looking at the game because it's not interesting. If they're not looking at it, who's playing it? I know there's probably a ton of people playing, or a ton of people playing, but when you have people not even interested in the game, that's like the first signs to a decline. Look at DayZ. DayZ on average gets anywhere from 500 to 1,000 or more viewers, and you look and it's dying off. There's a ton of servers with low population, which I guarantee you by low, it means empty. there are a few servers that actually have population. You probably have a handful of between full and high population servers, and if you have a handful of those, even if they're all full, that's only 60 players on each one of those 5 servers. That's not a lot of people, and I know people are probably still, like I said, gonna disagree. They're gonna disagree and say no, survival isn't failing. It's not dying off. It absolutely is. You want to see a game that is not necessarily survival genre, but a very close relative. Look at Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov has similar things to what we're talking about. It has dynamic. It has some in-goal feel. It doesn't deal with zombies and that kind of stuff, or mutated creatures, but it has more than someone painting a pretty map, throwing some shit on the map, and saying go play. That's why survival games are failing. And I love this genre enough to call it out and say, guys, you need to fix it. Because I don't want Dayz to just, shrivel up and die. I don't want Scum, even though I don't play it that much. I don't want Scum to shrivel up and die. It's sad enough that H1Z1 is closing its servers. The Just Survive game was something that, even though I didn't like it, a lot of people liked, but it's the same thing as Dayz. It had no substance, and it was shriveling up. So as I'm talking about all this, there's really one company that I really want to direct this at other than Dayz, and that is the guys making Dead Matter. I have just recently, gotten accepted into that partnership with Dead Matter. I'm excited for the game. It looks fantastic. The graphics look amazing. I was watching how they've been taking community feedback on changing how zombies work instead of, walking around a barrier. They just kind of walk into it, and how power and stuff is going to work on housing. And then I've been reading, because I'm part of the partnership Discord, having different little areas that you can control, like, have a dam that you've got under control, and then they're talking about NPCs. All that kind of stuff looks so fantastic. Dead Matter, please do not fall down the same path that these other games have. One of the biggest problems outside of the play styles and the lack of substance on these survival games is development. Development is hurting its own genre here. This development for survival games, they are hurting the genre by not releasing updates on time. They're not giving enough information to community on time. You guys are doing a fantastic job so far. Look at the Forest. Look at how they did it. I think the Forest did a fantastic job there. You keep using the word fantastic, but they did a great job. They had a timer in the game when you started up, this much time until the next update. That was awesome. That's what we need more of out of early access games. We don't have that. But yeah, Dead Matter, don't fall down that. I want you guys to succeed, because I genuinely want to be able to play that game even beyond Dayz's time. So that's really the focus of making this video, is to try and grab the attention of Dayz developers, try to grab the attention of the Scum developers, but really grab the attention of Dead Matter. You guys aren't even released yet. You have the chance to not fall down that path. Anyway, guys, I didn't mean to take up quite so long. It was really not intended to be a rambling video. It just kind of became that. You guys feel free, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about a lot of the things that I said. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of hate because I'm hating on games that people are so specific on. But take a second, look at the games like I was telling you, and you will see what I'm seeing. You will see those players that don't actually want to play the survival game. They want a battle royale. I guarantee you will see the viewer counts for people watching these games showing their interest. You'll start to look at the lack of substance and see why people are going to games like Escape from Tarkov, PUBG, which PUBG is even losing its foothold there, but Call of Duty Battle Royale, any of these other games that were kind of spawned from something like Dayz mod a long time ago, King of the Kill or King of the Hill mod, I think is actually what it was called in Arma. You'll understand if you start looking at that, but you have to look at it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, you guys know that I'm on Twitch. Feel free to join me on Twitch whenever I'm live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. maybe one day YouTube will change a little bit and we can come back and stream here. But until then, Twitch is our new streaming home. The channel is going to be reserved for uploads for videos and uploads on recent streams, which I haven't really put any out there. I'm going to have to start transitioning them over. It's just a lot of extra work. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next live stream.